Everyone knows of Spotify Wrapped and how they summarize your music playing trends for the past year. And since Spotify started that tradition in 2016, many other companies have been trying to follow up and create their own Wrapped summary. The MTA is not exempt from this trend, and on December 27th released their By the Numbers summary for 2023. All of the data was collected between January and November of this year. In this video, we go through the MTA's summary and see where everything ranks. Starting with the New York City subway, we have the station with the most MetroCard swipes, Flushing Main Street in Queens with 6.3 million MetroCard swipes. Honestly, I'm surprised it's not Times Square that leads the pack for MetroCard swipes, and even more surprised that it wasn't even a station in the borough of Manhattan. Next, we have the station with the most Omni taps, Grand Central 42nd Street in Manhattan, with 5.4 million Omni taps. The MTA has been trying to get people to switch from MetroCard to Omni ever since the new payment system was introduced in 2019. However, with the MetroCard being in place for over a decade, people have been reluctant to switch. I guess the MTA made a good impression on those Manhattan riders. Moving on to the stations with the busiest bathrooms, we have Jackson Heights, Roosevelt Avenue in Queens, and 14th Street, Union Square in Manhattan. Following the pandemic, the MTA started an aggressive program to not only renovate a lot of the stations in the system, but to also open up many of the locked bathrooms for passengers. And finally, for the subway line with the highest ridership, we have the number 6 line with an estimated 140 million passengers, which is more than both Metro North and the Long Island Railroad's ridership combined. I gotta tell you, it's not a surprise that one of the Lexington Avenue services is the busiest in the system. Lex is a busy corridor with lines coming from various places in the Bronx and Brooklyn, all converging on the east side of Manhattan. It's nice to see the 6 on this list. Put some respect on the line. Now, New York City Transit isn't anything without its buses, and with the first metric, we have the bus line that carried the most passengers. This line is the M15 Select Bus Service in Manhattan, with over 16.4 million riders in 2023. Again, this is not surprising at all, as the M15, BX12, and B46 are always on the list for the most used bus lines in New York City. For the bus line that traveled the most miles, we have the B6 bus in Brooklyn, with 1.7 million miles. This is another one that's not surprising, with the B6 being known for running tons of buses on its route to keep up with the high ridership. And finally, we have the busiest bus stop, which is at Archer Avenue and Parsons Boulevard in Queens, which saw more than 36,000 riders per day. With this bus stop being located just outside of the Jamaica Center station on the E and J trains, along with multiple bus lines stopping at that location, it was kinda obvious that it would be a high-use stop. Also, the Q4 bus was recently made fare-free, and I have no doubt that might have contributed to the stop's high ridership. And now for Long Island Railroad, we start with the station with the most city tickets sold. Bayside wins this at 242,000 sales. Keep in mind this data was collected from every station other than Jamaica, Grand Central, and Penn Station. Next, we have the station with the most off-peak tickets sold. Ronkonkoma comes in on top with 656,000 sales. Hicksville wins the station with the most monthly tickets sold at 23,000 sales. The Babylon branch wins for the branch with the most monthly tickets sold at 120,000 sales. And the branch with the most ridership is the Port Jefferson branch with 10.8 million trips.
The 1216 train to Babylon is now arriving on track.
And finally, we move on to Metro North Railroad. Here, the data includes all stations besides Grand Central. The station with the most monthly tickets sold is Stamford with 18,379 sales. The station with the most city tickets sold is Fordham with 301,905 sales. The station with the most off-peak tickets sold is Harlem 125th Street with 576,590 sales. And last but not least, the line with the most ridership is the New Haven line with 26.1 million trips. I expect this to increase when the Penn Station Access project is complete. And with that, we end off the year of 2023. Did you expect some of the stations to be at the top? Were you surprised by some of the rankings? Tell me in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video and you would like to get more from Mystic Transit, like, subscribe, and consider supporting me via channel memberships or super thanks. Happy New Year, everyone. Special thanks to Stuart Guberman for supporting me at the 2 Broadway tier, and Damien's Transit and Health Bar videos for supporting me at the Train Operator tier.